Hi, I'm Saul.
And I'm Adam.
This is DSFC TV, and today we're talking about Spider-Man No Way Home.
So, do you want to start?
What are you excited for this film?
The whole thing.
It's helpful. It's really helpful, Adam. I mean, right, a lot of fan theories and rumours about the film. We know that the old villains are coming back, but what are you wanting to see from the old characters?
Definitely. I know you don't like this, but the catch scene of MJ.
No, like with Andrew Garfield,
Yes.
you mean? No, he does not deserve to get his redemptive scene. This is Tom Holland's love interest's fallen. He should catch her and show that he's better than Andrew Garfield. He shouldn't be given, like, Andrew Garfield shouldn't be given that redemptive arc, because, let's be honest, he's going to come back for this film if he comes back. And then he's going to go off again. Why give him that moment when you can show that your new Spider-Man's bigger and better? It's like, why bring him down so that the other one can come up and then go away again?
But what a parallel, though. Think about it. The OG, the nostalgia.
Yes, there'd be a nostalgia aspect, but that's the problem. If they're bringing these films back, and if Toby and Andrew come back as well, I don't want it to be just a nostalgia grab. I want it to feel earned and feel needed. I don't want it to just be, oh yeah, these guys are here, like, wow. It shouldn't be like that.
Let's be honest, they're going to be in it.
They've got to be.
There's no way.
It'd be such a missed opportunity to have these villains come back and then not bring their Spider-Man back, because that's just going to get audiences' expectations up going into the film as well.
Yeah, all they've teased us the full time. They've done it on purpose.
I mean, there's literally clips of Tom Holland where it's like, throw out your fan theories, they're probably not true, or are they? And then just
All the edited hand.
yeah.
That's...
There's so many things in that trailer where, or like the Brazilian version of the trailer, where things are out of place and you can tell something's not right, where it almost feels forced. Like, surely Sony are cleverer than this. Like, they've got to be too smart to think, oh yeah, no one will notice that hand in the background, because they know people go through frame by frame and look at everything. They enhance the light and they do everything they can to find the hidden details.
The amount of people that's talking about it, talking about the rumours, the fact that they're in it.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And this film is that popular that tickets sold out. Like, they didn't necessarily sell out, but the websites crashed almost immediately. I mean, tickets went on sale slightly earlier than they were supposed to here.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the time people realised, websites were crashed. I mean,
couldn't get on.
We're going with the group of what, 21 people?
Yeah, 21.
I managed to book 10 on the night and then had to go on from midnight till 11 o'clock that afternoon to get the last 11
Look
tickets.
who we got in.
Very lucky. The fact that we got them all together as well is ridiculous, really. Not many people have been that lucky.
Yeah.
Well, it's ridiculous.
It is.
It's an event. This film is an event. I mean, red carpet yesterday, everyone was there, even actors that aren't in this film.
Yeah.
I mean, I highly doubt Shang-Chi's going to be in the Spider-Man film, but Samuel Liu was on the red carpet, excited to be there, excited to meet all these people, because these old Spider-Man villains, they're big name actors. I mean, Willem Dafoe, Alfred Molina, they're not just casual actors, they are very popular and very well-known actors, even before the time of Spider-Man villains. So for these other actors that are coming into it now, meeting their inspirations, no wonder other actors are coming to the red carpet to be involved.
Yeah. Well, in terms of the trailer, the new villains, the way they look, is a lot better, especially the improvement with Electro. I think that's one of the best improvements.
They're clearly trying to make it clear that these villains are going to get an upgraded look. Whether that comes with upgrades to the characters' abilities or not, we don't know, because we see Green Goblin in a damaged suit.
Yeah.
Is that his upgraded costume? How's that going to work?
Yeah.
I mean, Doc Ock has the nanotech. There's a lot going on about that. I feel like he's just stole that from the Iron Spider suit, though.
Or it's kind of bonded with him. That's a rumour that it's bonded with him.
Yeah, it fit. I mean, it depends. We know these villains have got to be plucked from right before they die, realistically.
Yeah, which is going to be...
Otherwise, they'd be using the new knowledge that they have
to
fight the Spider-Man at the end of their films. So then, the question is, who's in control? Because at the end with Doc Ock, he kind of gained control back and theoretically died. But do the tentacles have control again? Because otherwise, why would we be attacking Peter again?
Talking about Doc Ock, the fact that he's fighting Electro possibly in the trailer.
Oh yes, we do see him falling from that building, but I have a feeling that could be a misfire.
Yeah,
like Electro could have missed 1, 2, maybe 3, maybe 27 Spider-Men just to hit Doc Ock.
Baby.
I mean, I would not be surprised if we saw a Miles, if we saw a Spider-Man Noir. I feel like it's unlikely, but I wouldn't be surprised if just everyone came into this for like a Portal scene.
Why not?
Style.
Why not?
I mean, why not go all in? You're there now. You've dived into it. You're in the Spider-Verse. Why not go for it? And I mean, they've just brought out a trailer for Into the Spider-Verse Part 2.
Exactly.
What good way of... How good would it be if this film just tied it in and just drag Tom Holland, just pluck him a little bit. I don't want him to go into the Sony universe of Marvel characters, a sunk, or whatever they try and call it. But just pop him into the Spider-Verse for a little bit. Just let him run around there for a film or two, and then we'll bring him back. No time's passed, and he's had a crazy adventure in some weird animation style.
Well, maybe Spider-Man 2099 could come in.
Maybe. The only reason I'd go against that is because his actor, Oscar Isaac, is Moon Knight now.
That is true.
So they'd have to hire a new actor, which would mean a new voice, which would be a bit weird why they did that.
He is the voice for the new Spider-Verse film, isn't he?
Yeah, Spider-Man 2099, which is why I feel like it would be a weird thing to have him come as a Moon Knight, and that it kind of complicate things a bit too much. And I feel like that's going to be something that we go into with Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, because I feel like almost the same as Flashpoint, anyone that comes in these 3 multiversal films, let's say, anyone that comes in and plays a different version of a character, we're not going to see them as their own character in that universe. So like, we'll probably see the likes of Nicolas Cage as Superman, or
Tom Cruise as Iron Man.
Tom Cruise as Iron Man. So stuff like that we'll probably see. So if we see in Oscar Isaac as Spider-Man 2099, I don't think they would have cast him as Moon Knight just to save confusion.
Yeah. Well, post-credit scenes, what do you think?
Something with America Chavez coming in for Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
I feel like there's definitely got to be something for Multiverse of Madness, and I feel like it makes more sense her coming to us rather than us going to them, because I feel like that's got to be something big that happens in the film.
Maybe Wanda?
We could see Wanda leaving on her own, but I feel like they want to save that for the film of seeing where Wanda is.
Yeah, bring her in like halfway through the film. You know?
I wouldn't be surprised if in that film it opens with Wanda's already gone and Strange is just finding out and has to go catch her before she gets lost and ruins the multiverse. And then maybe one weird thing thrown in there for just to divert expectations. Maybe Ned's a Skrull. Ned's a Skrull for Secret Invasion, and then that's just something little to set up something that isn't as related as you'd expect, just to throw a little curveball in there.
Do you think he might become Hobgoblin, Ned?
Yes, because we saw that Jacob Batalon lost quite a bit of weight, as if he was getting ready for the physicality to play that type of role. So I feel like it's a good chance we could see that, or maybe just a multiversal version of him in this film where he's Hobgoblin. I feel like one way or another we're seeing an iteration of Jacob Batalon as Hobgoblin.
Then again, he did put the weight back on. Maybe
he did, and that's why I'm leaning towards it probably being a multiversal version where he just shot for a little while and then he's kind of got himself back to where he usually is.
Well, what do you think about the Ned and MJ scene? Do you think either of them might die?
Oh, don't get started. I don't think either of them are going to die. I think MJ is a misdirect, and I'd be very surprised if we see Happy Hogan make it out of this film alive.
Oh, that is true. I think he's dead.
I think Favreau's over. He's been in it since 2008, Iron Man. He's been directing.
That scene where he's diving for the bomb, I feel like that's going to blow up.
Oh, it's
kill him. Imagine.
If Happy Hogan dies, right, it's going to be one of the saddest scenes in the MCU. I don't care if Tony Stark's dead. I care more about Happy Hogan. He's the one that had to deal with him being a pain and being snobby, and he had to drive him around, and then he's done so much, and I reckon he's going to have one last heroic act and die doing it.
Think about Spider-Man barely has anyone left. If he dies, he might just go rogue.
Yeah.
Spider-Man holds back too much. He might just... The diving scene where he's diving at Ant-Man, that might be just him.
Happy's dead, man. Happy's dead. I'd be very surprised if Happy survives this film.
He doesn't.
He doesn't?
He doesn't.
I hope we're wrong.
Yeah.
Well, there's only one way to find out. We're seeing it in about 4 hours' time, so we'll see you probably tomorrow after we've watched it.
Yep.
Okay, we'll be back. Okay, we're back. What a film. It's not Christmas anymore, so I don't need that. We've joined by Adam 2.
From a different universe.
Don't have an Adam 3.
We've got Adam 1 at least.
Flip the side down. We've got an Adam 1 and an Adam 2. Where do we begin?
Where is he?
Happy's alive. Didn't expect Happy to survive this film at all.
I don't think anyone expected Aunt May to die. I wasn't expecting Aunt May to die.
Not at all. I thought, Spider-Man without May? Normally, if May dies, that's the end of the franchise. They've done it just to make it sad at the end.
I mean, for 5 minutes last time, we were talking about the fact that Happy was going to die, and it was kind of leaning towards
the trailers misled you though, didn't they? Like, it looked like Happy was going to die in the trailers, but...
Yeah, they definitely wanted you to think Happy was going to die. We just fell for it.
Especially with when they were pointing guns at him, but that was literally him seeing me dead.
Yeah, that was literally just 20 seconds of him getting arrested.
I think that was the best scene in the film. Well, obviously apart from certain other scenes, but I think that was the best scene in the film. Well, obviously not. It was the saddest scene as well.
It's just heartbreaking because Mia didn't. She'd been stabbed and she still told him we did the right thing before he even knew she'd been stabbed.
Oh, no.
Like she fully believed that they should be helping Goblin, and all the other villains, even if it caused her death, she still didn't care. Peter didn't even know she was hurt yet, and she was like, "Yeah, we've done the right thing. Don't worry about people getting hurt. Just go stop them now. We've tried." And it's the fact that that's how she left. She gave the great power comes great responsibility speech.
It was a great
perfectly
speech.
from the comics as well. Like it was line for line.
I knew she was dead. As soon as she said that, I was
like,
she's
dead.
Yeah, no one survives that line. If you say that line, you're dead. You're done. I'm never saying it again because I'll end up in some kind of situation. Never having nieces or nephews. It's not happening.
Who would you say was the best villain in the film?
Gotta be Green Goblin.
If you don't choose Goblin,
that scene where he's getting punched and he's just laughing.
Yeah,
it's scary. Like he's genuinely a scary.
I think
villain.
he was actually better than he was in the original Spider-Man.
100%. And I think that's the same for everything. I mean, more spoilers, I guess. Toby and Andrew were in the film. Surprise, surprise. No one saw that coming. But I like Toby's version more as well. I think all of the Toby villains and Toby himself got better in this film because it was less goofy than the original trilogy. And that has its charm, but
I think Andrew was better as well.
Andrew was
stole the show for me. He was best Spider-Man. Before the film, he was like my least favourite Spider-Man. I'd say, even though I enjoyed him still. But after the film, I'd say he's probably my favourite. After that film,
I'm still quite basic. I still prefer Tom Holland. I think he's more well-rounded. But
he's had the best trilogy.
Garfield's the best actor out of the lot of them, without a doubt. He can play whatever.
Especially with the humour throughout. That was.
Oh, he was great.
Yeah, he was. He was the funniest Spider-Man, definitely.
Peter 1, Peter 2, Peter 3.
Yeah. Now, I don't like the fact that he was Peter 3.
I think they should have done age.
I mean, I think the joke.
OG.
I think the joke is that he's everyone's least favourite, or his films are everyone's least favourite. He's the third on the list. But then Sony's bigging up their current one by making him Spider-Man 1. But just put them in release order. Just have that. Don't downgrade Garfield just because.
I mean, we got that little phrase of Bully Maguire where he was like, "How's this helping?" when he was talking about the Avengers.
Yeah. And we got the meme as well.
Yeah, we got the point a couple of times, didn't we?
Yeah.
But they half did it. The arms didn't come higher than that. They were like, "Oh, him." I mean, in the lab, Ned shouted Peter, and then they all looked, and it was fun.
It was subtle enough, but it was.
I'm surprised they didn't go like when they were first met.
That's what I was thinking. When they first all met, why didn't they like, "Who are you?"
I think it was because it was a really sad scene.
It was an emotional scene, I feel like
Tom Holland was not in the state.
Once Tom Holland was in that emotional state, they couldn't pull that off anymore. But I'm surprised they didn't just go there with the
Imagine they just started fighting while Tom's just crying.
I thought it was going to break out in a fight. I'm surprised it didn't, because it's the Marvel thing. Before your heroes fight the villain, the heroes fight the heroes.
Like in Infinity War, a lot of the heroes were arguing. Like
Guardians fought Strange, Iron Man, and Spider-Man. In the original Avengers, Black Widow fights Hulk and Hawkeye. Iron Man fights Captain America. Hulk fights Thor. It's the Avengers and Marvel heroes don't get along until they have to.
And Spider-Man sorry, I'll say. And then Spider-Man was like, he's like a solo hero. Like he just like they even said that, even referenced that. Like we're not used to working as a team. But obviously Tom Holland is because he's in the Avengers, but the other two aren't. So it was like good how I think like they all worked as a team. The swinging scene was brilliant. Yeah.
Now, I feel like this could be a problem with the multiverse coming up. Am I the only one that had trouble keeping track of which Spider-Man was which in that fight thing? Because they were swinging around, and I was like, "There's someone swinging. That's normally all I need to know if it's Spider-Man or not. Who is it?"
I actually didn't originally know when all three of them jumped. I didn't know which. I knew Tom was in the middle. Because we saw that in the trailer. But in terms of Andrew and Toby, I didn't know.
Yeah, you couldn't tell. I still don't know actually.
Yeah, I didn't have as much trouble with that. I mean, I can't remember it now, but at the time I didn't remember being like confused by which Spider-Man's jumping at first. But like I didn't notice who was swinging next to who.
Yeah.
Like it's a fun scene to watch. But in upcoming multiversal things, so like I have a film we're going to see at least maybe like a Tom Cruise Iron Man.
Apparently we're going to get variants of Doctor Strange as well.
Yeah, we'll probably get a Doctor Strange variant.
But they look like distinctly different though.
They've got
Whereas the Spider-Mans did look like really similar.
I mean, in the Strange trailer, we can see we're saying what's he called from What If? Strange Supreme, I think his name is.
Strange Supreme, yeah.
I feel like he looks different enough, and he's enough of an antagonist where we're going to be able to tell, oh, that's the bad guy, that's the good guy, that's fine.
Yeah.
But it's when they're all working together and they're so similar, they're going to have to do something to separate them. Otherwise, it's going to be a case of, oh, there's the blue blurs, that's the Captain Americas. There flies past the red blurs, there's Iron Man's. Like, they've got to do something to keep it different enough, otherwise it's going to lose track.
What do you think of the ending?
Oh, God. Which one? There was like a few different endings to this film, and I love them all.
Just talk about MJ first, like how it ended.
I didn't like that at all.
I liked it.
I liked it, but it was sad.
It's heartbreaking.
I think it was a perfect ending for like a Spider-Man film because he became Spider-Man. Like,
That's true. He lost everything.
He lost everything. Became Spider-Man.
Spider-Man has nothing. That's how Spider-Man works. He is Spider-Man first. I mean, Andrew Garfield doesn't have time for Peter Parker stuff because he's too busy with the Spider-Man stuff. And I feel like with Tom Holland, we're going to see him trying to balance the Maguire and the Garfield.
That's like the line, with great power comes great responsibility. Like, they've got to sacrifice being Peter Parker to be Spider-Man. Yeah. I think they nailed that, really.
Yeah. So do we think he's going to go off to college and meet a Gwen Stacy now?
I've heard rumours.
I think they're going... I don't know if I want it, though. I think he's going to.
Well, I want it because what I want them to do is I want to see him meet Harry Osborn and think, oh no.
That's straight out of there.
The Osborns
how are they going to
here.
do that, though? Like, how they, like, he's just going to know straight away that Harry Osborn shouldn't be trusted?
Because I think he's going to try and get himself as close to Oscorp as possible before Norman becomes the Goblin. And I feel like that could maybe become a thing where we see before where Harry becomes the Goblin. So he's kind of gotten close to Harry to stop Norman, but then Harry feels neglected and he's the one that becomes the Goblin. It's almost like, what did they call it in What If? Like when it's an unbreakable point.
Yeah, no matter what, he's going to meet them. Maybe instead we don't get Harry dying this time.
I think he'll die eventually.
I think after these next 3 films, that'll be it for Tom Holland. I think he's got the college trilogy.
I think he's got an adult trilogy as well.
9 films. 9 films.
I don't think they'll have a problem with it. I think as long as fans are watching it and they're making over $1 billion like they are now, it's not a problem. Like, Sony wants money, Marvel wants money.
To make that much money in COVID as well, it's crazy.
It's ridiculous. Think how much money this would have made if COVID didn't
Probably would have
happen.
been up there with Endgame if COVID didn't happen.
I mean, as far as I last checked, it's 10th highest grossing film of all time.
It's got a nomination.
In a pandemic.
It's crazy.
It's got a nomination for every single aspect of the film.
I think Defoe's like a serious contender for Best Supporting Actor. Like, he was brilliant with Defoe.
And they're campaigning for Best Picture. I think they're campaigning to get that nomination.
Just because it like kind of saved the movie industry in the way. Like, obviously some people are saying, oh, it's just superhero films that are doing well, but at least it's some films that are doing well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not just... Right, you've superhero films, bad guy punches good guy, happy ending for everyone. I feel like Marvel especially is starting to diverse the kind of stories at once. Like Multiverse of Madness is looking like it's going to be a horror.
Shang-Chi was a bit different, like fantasy.
Shang-Chi is a fantasy film, and it also dives into the almost like the kung fu action films that we got a lot of. And I can't remember what era it was, 80s maybe.
Probably, yeah.
So I feel like it's kind of trying to broaden its horizons a lot. Eternals, for as much as people don't like that film,
completely different.
I don't agree with people hating that film as much, but
I don't see how you can hate it. But it's not my favourite, but I don't see how you can hate it still.
Yeah, but that film's a lot more.
But No Way Home, I think it's my favourite.
It's a better looking film, and No Way Home is a beautiful film.
I think No Way Home is my favourite MCU film. I don't know about yours.
Yeah. Right now.
The shot where Tom Holland and Willem Dafoe are on, I think it's the collapsed Captain America shield from Statue of Liberty.
Yep.
That looks beautiful.
That scene is...
But the performances in that scene, he was going to kill Goblin, and
I thought Toby was dead.
I did as well. That's something I don't like. I don't like how they played that off for jokes. If you're going to stab him, make it mean something. Don't just be like, yeah, I'm hurting.
Yeah, I suppose so, yeah.
Like, just play it properly. I just don't.
Another beautiful shot was where like our mate died, and Joe Jameson was on the big screen.
Yeah.
And he was just sitting like that. And I was just like, oh, it's a really good shot there.
It's such a good film, and I still don't think I've processed everything.
Yeah.
I mean, they even somehow they've used a multiversal film to set up the multiverse
in a way like is
in a way that there's more coming. Like, it almost feels like this film wasn't a multiverse film because of how much of the multiverse it's set up for the future.
Yeah.
I mean, just when the rifts are opening, we say Kraven the Hunter, Rhino, Scorpion. What looks like it could be a couple more Spider people. Yep. Superior Spider-Man when Doc Ock takes over Peter's body, brain transplant or something like that. Comics.
It's brain transfer.
And then the big one for me, I was talking about this before we started filming, Madam Web.
Yeah.
She's basically the hub for all the Spider-Verse people, for lack of a better phrase. They use the spider sense to sense each other, no matter what universe they're in, and it kind of all goes through her. So the fact that we're meeting her kind of makes you think, oh, Spider-Verse could get somehow even more ridiculous, even more crazy, and we could see it in live action.
Possibly Miles.
I mean, there's a figure that looks like it could be a Miles or a Gwen, but we don't know which.
Yeah. I think it's too early for Miles yet. I think Miles has got his animated films.
Yeah.
I think let them play out first and then introduce them to the MCU. That's what I would
say. While Into the Spider-Verse films do really well for them, I personally wouldn't be surprised if Into the Spider-Verse, Across the Spider-Verse or whatever it's called, Part 2, ended with Miles becoming live action. Maybe if we saw Tom Holland in the second part of that film animated.
Yeah.
And then they both come into the live action world.
Yeah, possibly.
Because the thing with it is, I don't know if they want to introduce a new Miles when everyone's grown attached to this animated one. And when you've got such a popular IP and the character's so loved and you've got a reasonable way to bring them in, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I think there's going to be mention of the MCU, I reckon, in their films.
Possibly,
yeah, there's got to be. I mean, Tom Holland's been approached to come into that film. It's just, he claims he didn't hear anything after he got approached. I don't believe after the whole, I'm not in this film, I've seen the photoshopped 8K videos of his on set. Like, it's, you can't trust them anymore. You've never been able to trust them.
Yeah.
But now you really can't trust them. So any theory is right until proven wrong for me now, because it's all you can go with.
What do you think of Ned becoming like basically a sorcerer?
I love it. It was very quick, which you could say, oh, it takes away from Strange's abilities considering he took ages to learn how to do that. But it's just Ned. It's funny. It's meant to be funny. I don't think you need to look into it any more than.
I completely forgot
Ned can make portals, kind of.
Yeah, I completely forgot any of the problems with it though when he opened them. And Toby and I was like, oh well, I don't care. And then it's brilliant.
It's the part where he couldn't close it as well. It's just stuff like that. Not everyone would think of writing it in the film.
And I think it needs an explanation other than, oh, my nana said that we had like magic in our family. I think it needs a bit more of an explanation.
I disagree. I'm happy to just be Ned can do portals. I'm happy to just leave it there.
I can't imagine Ned being on like, a battlefield with all the Avengers.
Oh, he won't. He cannot be, but he will be. He's got to be, but he won't be, but he can't be.
That's why I don't like the ending, because I feel like we're going to get rid of Ned and MJ, and I don't want it to be. I think we're going to take a break from Ned and MJ. I don't think we're going to get rid of them.
Zendaya is such a good actor. I don't think we're going to get rid of them. I think they're going to come back at some point, whether that's in the next film or maybe it meets Gwen Stacy in the next film. It's like a love triangle between MJ, Gwen Stacy, and Spider-Man. That's what I would say.
It all depends on how they decide to handle the outcome of Strange's spell. Because people can't remember him, but then how do they remember the events to do with them? Because Happy remembers Spider-Man.
Yep, exactly.
But he doesn't remember Pete. So is it going to be a case of Ned can remember being there with Spider-Man, so he can remember doing spells with Strange, but he can't remember that Spider-Man, specifically Peter? In which case, we could see him go into Kamar-Taj and learn how to be a sorcerer. And then that could be how we reintroduce him as a sorcerer in the next crossover, or maybe in the new trilogy when Peter's managed to track them down.
And plus, MJ has the necklace on, and she has drawings of Peter.
Yeah, exactly. She's an artist. We literally see on her walls in the background the drawing she did of the teacher in detention in Homecoming. Yeah. She keeps her drawings and she's proud of them. She puts them up. So she's got a drawing of Peter Parker somewhere. Unless that's just gone now. She's got it.
I suppose the other bit that hit me in the film as well was that when Happy couldn't remember him. Like, I was just expecting Happy to just like remember who like Peter was when they were at the grave. I was like, oh well. And then he said, like, how did you know her? I was like, oh god,
it's gut-wrenching.
Yeah, it is.
The fact that we see this character and we've had so much time with him, with Peter, and it's just, who are you? How did you know him?
It was really sad.
It's devastating.
Do you not think it's a plot hole though that in the school it's literally Tom as Spider-Man? Do you not think people are going to see that? And
it could be, but the simple right out I think there's going to be is anything to do with Tom Holland's like Spider-Man, anything to do with that Peter Parker wiped off. Any drawings don't exist anymore, not remembered. Anything online, gone.
It has to be that, doesn't it? It has to be that, yeah.
In terms of other villains, what did you think? Because a lot of people are complaining about Sandman scenes being all old footage.
I think they did the best they could with Sandman. They couldn't really, obviously the actor didn't come back. He came back to do the voicing, but he didn't come back.
He came back for voiceover, didn't come back on set.
And they did, I think they did a good job of him, really. I mean, there's going to be villains that are not going to be in depth as much.
Yeah.
Because you've got to like give the like most of the screen time to Doctor Octopus, Green Goblin, and people like that. But yeah, I didn't mind it really. I thought all the villains were good.
See, in terms of all the villains, we got a Sinister 5, not a Sinister 6. Yes, Venom was
I think they're
in a
saving the
bar
Sinister Six.
somewhere.
Yeah.
They're saving the Sinister Six for like its own film, I think. Like they're going,
See,
yeah.
I've heard rumours, I don't know how people would like it, is that they wanted to make a Sinister 6 an Avengers film,
That is.
all based off Spider-Man stuff. So I think it would be a concept of Spider-Man having these villains that he's realising they're getting together, and he realises he has to put together his own team. So that might be some kind of
But
caveat
how
for the
good
Young
would this be though?
Avengers.
Like, this is going to be well down the line. If Spider-Man, if there was enough Spider-Man could build his own team of Spider-Man, like
He could
Miles,
be, yeah.
like Gwen, it was like.
It
people like
depends
that.
if he has access to the multiverse.
6
realistically.
Spider-Man against the Sinister Six.
Maybe
Yeah.
not 6, but even just like 3 or 4. 3, like that would be good. I think that.
I mean,
that would be like the pinnacle of
we've
Spider-Man.
just watched 3 beat 5.
Yeah.
Venom might have changed things, but he might have not, because Eddie Brock and Venom will be arguing the whole time anyway. So that kind of cancels each other
Should
out.
probably end with the end credit scenes.
Yes. So with Venom, how do you actually feel about Venom not being there?
I'm a bit confused. Like I thought, like Tom Hardy's character was going to come into the MCU, then he goes back to. I'm sure they're doing something in the Sony universe. They've got to be. If Tom Hardy's like a good actor, he's gone back.
I think we're going to see Tom Hardy being some kind of. I don't know how they're going to do it, because maybe Garfield comes back. I mean, Morbius has been delayed. People think Andrew Garfield is going to be.
I don't see that.
Whether that's true or not, I still wouldn't be surprised if Andrew Garfield is the Spider-Man of that universe.
I think he could be. I think that's why Tom Hardy stayed in that universe. Well, he's gone back.
In which case, I feel like Tom Hardy could work well with Andrew Garfield.
They could, yeah, I definitely feel. I feel like they're the same kind of like vibe, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
kind of like.
And I feel like that's why they want him.
Yeah.
And then
That's why
MCU
they've
also
left
wants a
Venom,
Venom,
yeah.
which
They've
is why we
left
just
it
left
for-
a little bit of Venom there so that it can grow and spread and
I kind of
eat people.
want
And
Tom Hardy's Venom. I like Tom Hardy's Venom.
So
I
do
wish
I,
he
yeah,
would
yeah.
stay in the
I think he's
MCU.
the best part of the Venom films. Like, they have like problems, but he's the best part of it. Tom Hardy.
So for me, when I don't say, oh, they're going to do something, the simple answer is I trust Feige. And that's how it always has been, always will be, because if he thinks they can do something without Tom Hardy as Venom, I trust him to do something without Tom Hardy as Venom.
And then the last credit scene was just brilliant, wasn't it?
It was. I don't like the fact that they used the trailer as the post-credit scene, because 2 weeks later it was online.
Yeah.
Have you heard about the post-credit scenes they cut?
Oh yeah, but they've got them with their own lives, like Toby and Andrew.
Yeah,
That
I
is
want to
fucking
see
brilliant.
that. That would have been a perfect way to send them
Who's
off.
saying there can't be 3 credit scenes though? Like, they could have
Exactly. They could have just had. We could have just had them two. Say, I was going to say something there. I'd have them in a split screen where we see them both one half of the screen each. But the film kind of did this with the FaceTime scenes.
I didn't like
I
that.
don't like that.
No.
It feels really jarring.
Yeah.
But that's a bit of a tangent anyway. So yeah, I like the trailer, but I'm not really a fan of it.
I love the trailer. I thought, do you know when it like just done like the bit and it stopped? Like it done like a little like teaser for the trailer. Like it stopped. I thought we were just gonna get that teaser.
Yeah.
And then it started going on. I was like,
just
oh,
the
here we
candle
go.
in the wind and
Here
then
we-
that's it.
Yeah, I thought it was just gonna be like.
I
10
was really
10
worried
seconds.
there, because like there's nothing there. That's less than hearing a voice in Eternals and it ends up being a
candle.
blade.
A candle could be anything.
It could literally be.
I thought it was going to be
anything.
Doctor Strange's voice and like a couple of shots of Strange, and I didn't even think we were going to get to see Wanda. So it was brilliant.
I think it's interesting that Strange gets in touch with Wanda and doesn't want to talk about Westview though.
That's what I was thinking. He mentions Westview and nothing
Says
else
he isn't
about it.
interested.
I think Wanda's going to be the villain still. I do believe that Wanda will be the villain.
See, we see it's not Shuma Gorath, but it's someone similar to Shuma Gorath, and I can never remember
I
the
think there's
villain's
going to be
name.
like multiple villains from the multiverse, but there's somebody that's going to be messing with the multiverse, and that's Wanda, because she's trying to find her kids and shit.
Yep. Right. Well, I guess.
We've talked about everything, haven't we?
Yeah. There's not. Well, with Multiverse of Madness, we're just gonna have to wait to see it.
Yeah. We'll talk
It's
about
a
that
while
next time,
away.
yeah.
It's January now. Got 4 months to wait, but I'm sure we'll have maybe Moon Knight and a couple of other shows in between then. So that's all we've got.
Thanks for watching.
Bad Man No Way Home. What a film. I'll see you later.